Welcome back to On the Road with Flora and Note, a podcast where we share our travel stories, personal insights, and candid conversations while on the road.
And today we are in Kotor, Montenegro. Our first time here. We are staying right in the middle of the old town.
And we are looking at the most beautiful view of the Bay of Kotor.
The place we're staying now is probably
the most beautiful
Airbnb we have ever stayed.
Not even the most expensive place we've stayed. It's quite affordable, but we saw a photo of how the terrace of our Airbnb looked, and we just thought we have to come here, and it is exactly what we were looking for.
If not better than the photos.
Yeah. So you should go watch our Kotor video on our main channel. When it's up, it will take a couple more weeks until that goes up on our main channel. But yeah, this is definitely a place worth visiting.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. And just a quick reminder, if you prefer to listen to our podcast, we are also on Spotify podcasts and Apple podcasts. So today we decided to discuss a topic of interest to many of our viewers, which is how do we pick our next destinations as travel YouTubers?
How do we plan our trips? How do we balance which country to go to?
And do we argue about it, or are there some places where we keep putting off? I think this is a really relevant topic because we're kind of getting towards the end of our Europe trip, and then we're planning our next trip. So this type of conversation happens quite often in our daily lives.
Yeah, and I think we keep learning throughout our travels where we want to adjust minor things to make our lives a lot easier. For example, this trip has been a long trip, 2 months away from Thailand in Europe, and we started thinking, maybe we should travel a little shorter each time and then go back to Thailand to regroup, to refresh, and then go off and travel another 2 to 3 weeks again, and then keep repeating that.
Like even this, it's so new that we discussed this where I'm not sure, because part of me, I like to plan longer trips because I think it saves us money in the sense that we go from country to country that's close together, and it saves us money because the most expensive cost really is flights. And excuse the bells, it is 7 p.m. right now, and every half an hour the church bells ring, so maybe we'll wait a moment.
This one is a short one. 7 a.m. is a long one.
8 a.m.
8 a.m.
rings for like 5 minutes. So let's go back to kind of the first step of our planning. Of course, we kind of throw around destinations that we are interested in going to, but still I think one of the first things you like to do is look at prices of accommodation. Really practical things about a place that helps us to budget to see if it's even like feasible for us to be there for a certain amount of time.
And our budget changed over time. Before we used to look for something that's below $30 a night.
Yeah.
And that was
tough.
Yeah, that was tough. Like it restricted our freedom to stay at certain places, and also choose like nicer places to showcase the city or the country we stay at. But now it's better. We have increased it to 50 to 100, depends on which country.
Yeah, I think it depends on the country. But what has changed, I think less about like our budget even, it's our comfort. We now feel like we need a couple more days of proper work days to really give us a chance to rest and recover and keep filming.
Yeah.
So I think that's why we decided to stay at slightly more comfortable places and be rested and then film like better videos basically.
So for example, for the Italy series, we know that Rome is going to be very expensive. We know that Florence, all the big cities, is going to be very pricey. So we try to limit our stay in these big cities and extend our stay in the villages outside the city because the price can be significantly different.
Like we stayed in Rome for about 4 days because it was closer to like $200 a night, like
Yeah.
US dollars a night. But surprisingly, in Tuscany, when we stayed at our Airbnbs, it would be about 100
or
or
even less.
even less. So it was more affordable, and we spent a whole week in Tuscany. And of course, that means we have a car, but it's all part of the experience. Like if we actually rented a car and Tuscany was costing us $200 a
We'll be
night,
broke.
yeah, we would have been like, okay, Tuscany maybe just for a little bit, and we
Yeah.
move on to
Yeah.
Venice, which it would be very expensive.
Yeah.
Basically, Tuscany enabled us to slow down a bit and enjoy Italy a bit more. And I think that's kind of what we do now is we every country we look into, we obviously stay at a more popular city first to get the series started, but we find lesser known places that are interesting both to us but also help to lower our budget.
And then we also started looking at neighboring countries to see which one are more affordable so we can extend our stay. So on this trip, we went from Italy to Croatia,
To Slovenia.
Slovenia, and then down to Croatia to Montenegro,
Yeah.
and next destination gonna be Albania, which gonna be significantly cheaper. We look into combining these countries so that we can balance our
Yeah.
budget. But we kind of messed up in Croatia, thinking that Croatia gonna be cheaper than
Yeah.
Italy, but it was so expensive.
Yeah. I think Croatia was surprisingly expensive for us. I mean, accommodation is still cheaper than like Rome and Florence, but yeah, like
Living
living
expense.
is surprisingly expensive, and I think of course because we were in Dubrovnik. But yeah, that kind of upped our spending a little bit more, which meant like here in Kotor, we're eating in a bit more. So we find a balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's like other like really practical things that we look at, which is like weather, for example. I feel like this is something that I'm more cautious about is I really don't want to be somewhere very cold, but I also don't want to be at a place when Google says it's the best time to be at a place, because that means you're going to have
Crowds.
tourists. Everyone is going to want to be there. So when we were looking at Italy, for example, it was like, April to, I don't know, the summer months is going to be perfect.
A shorter season.
Yeah, so we were like, okay, let's do like March, so we can avoid some of the crowds, get better prices, but we also get to experience the good weather.
Probably we experienced some rainy days, but because we don't really film every day, we probably film once or twice a week. So we had that wiggle room to choose the best day to film in a week.
But overall, like shoulder season, either like at the beginning or the end of what Google Maps tells you is the best time to be there, you're going to feel a bit better with less crowds, and the weather should still hold up.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one factor we consider.
So the third factor is another important one is how popular is that country. For example, we know that Italy is very popular and will most likely get a lot more views on YouTube than Slovenia or Croatia or even Montenegro. So we kind of balance it out by we're gonna film these numbers of videos in Italy and one or two in each less popular countries to balance it's like a business, because we know that we will get more views on Italy videos and get less video on the other countries. So they kind of balance it out because more views mean more money for us. And when we choose a destination, we do our research on YouTube, on Google to see which one come up more.
Yeah.
And what are the keywords that people are searching for?
I feel like it's still slightly a gamble sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you never know. Like, you do your best to kind of guess those videos will do well, but we honestly sometimes like it completely flops and then some other video does well. So in the end, we're still trying to choose videos or cities that are really interesting to us and that hopefully people who travel like us may be interested in going to those places.
Yeah.
So Rome videos, I think for us was like trying to target like a wider audience. But us going to Albania after, I think that's like somewhere we're very curious to go and hoping that people like us will also be like, oh, I was planning to go there. I wonder what it would be like, and yeah, what it would cost to travel there. And yeah, I think there are two other factors that kind of come into play. One of them, of course, is it easy for us to go like visa free? That would be a preference, to be able to just not have to worry about visas. And I think we're pretty lucky with Canadian passports. Most of the places we go to, we are visa free for like 30 to 60 days or something like that. So it's not too big of a hassle, but we do look at things like that.
And then, also the length of stay.
Yeah, the
we
length
travel
of stay.
very slow. We travel a month in each country. So having at least 15 days in a country is like a must.
Also, I think if a place is safe, like if there's any political instability, if there's like any, I don't know, just problems that we think may impact us, we don't want to get our families worried as well. So those things come into play as we pick our destination. But yeah, you still have a lot of choices once we decide it is safe and easy for us. Yeah, to travel to.
The world is so big. We have to go on Google and zoom out to see the globe side and then choose which country we want to go next.
We do kind of have like a one big trip every year.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. Like for us, for example, last year, we did go to, I think, like 12 countries or something like that. But for us, our main like big trip was Central Asia. So that was some place that we were so interested in, and we wanted to spend, I think, almost like 2 months in, and that was like our main trip of the year. And this year, like Europe is our big one. Like we are targeting like 5 or 6 countries all in Europe, and so I think every year there is like this major one that we have planned, and then there's a lot more like Southeast Asia, East Asia trips that fill in a lot of gaps because of like.
First of all, we love Asia. Well, we are based in Koh Samui, Thailand. So we like to go back and eat familiar food, catching up with our friends.
Save money because it's cheaper to live there. Visit our family, or our family comes and visit us, same as our friends. So a lot of that time of the year in Asia is actually quite busy for us. And we continue filming content there because our audience actually mostly follow us for Asia content.
Yeah. We started our channel when we were filming Thailand, Chiang Mai and Koh Samui. And that's where we built our base, our foundation.
And then like because we did Vietnam videos early on when Vietnam first opened back to international tourism. So I think a huge group also watch our Vietnam content, which we love because every single year we do go back to Vietnam as well and try to film some new content there. So yeah, I think it's a good mix of satisfying the original audience and then going out to new places to find new audience for our channel, because this is the best way to grow a more wholesome audience. I think it's actually really tough for a channel if you only have like one audience base. So when
you have to keep moving and changing countries all the time. That's very tiring.
Or if you only have audience who likes to watch you in one country, that's also really, really tough when you want to do something else.
So we are pretty lucky in a way that no matter where we go, really, people will follow us and will watch our videos.
I kind of feel like I tend to choose destinations that I'm really interested in, and I think less about like YouTube and the views.
The algorithm.
The algorithm, because I'm on YouTube way less than you. So do you feel that we pick our destinations based on the algorithm or like us, like from your point of view?
I would say it's 50-50. All the places that we went to are on my travel list. I want to go there. And also looking at which combination of countries is good for YouTube, for a channel. It's not that we just choosing one or the other. We know that we love to travel to all these countries. So might as well make the best out of it for ourselves that can fulfill our passion for travel and also fulfill the business side of the channel.
I guess we can almost kind of do it combined. I would be like, I really want to go to these places. And then you would tell me like, these places will probably do well on YouTube. And some of the places might not do well on YouTube. So we would change how we plan the route of where we go. Like some places we might do less videos and move on faster.
It's not just countries too. It's also destination within that country.
Yeah, within the cities.
I think another factor that helps us pick which country to travel to is our audience.
Yeah, for sure.
We get a lot of recommendations to go to different countries. And the one that came up a lot recently is India.
Yeah. And it is a place that I think we both want to go to. But I also feel like I need to prepare myself a bit just because there's going to be an overwhelming amount of people, amount of things to see, things to try, things to do.
Aren't you like ready for that after Europe? Europe is so calm, and then India gonna be like, damn, chaotic.
Yeah, there's like beauty in the chaos, and I think I had that feeling with Nepal. Before we went to Nepal, I was also not sure of what it would be like, and it ended up being one of our favorite trips because we didn't know what to expect.
Same as Kyrgyzstan. We were scared to cross the border to go to Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah, and
turned out to be the best country.
I think with India, it would really help if we knew like where we wanted to go in India. That might help us to prepare ourselves a bit more. I do think this is a trip for this year.
I think we should test the water first. You know how we say we usually travel 2 to 3 months at a time. We just go for a couple weeks, test the water, see how we like it, because we can always go back. India is a big country.
And
there's
not
so many to explore.
Far from Thailand. We even found a direct flight, right, from Bangkok. So it's like it's easy to go there, go back to Bangkok, recover, and then I think it would be fun to do. So if you have any recommendations, if you've been to India, let us know like what is a good place to start, or what is unique, or what you think we might like. We're really curious to hear what you guys think. We obviously know about like the triangle, like New Delhi, and then it's like Jaipur, Rajasthan. Like that's a very typical route that we are considering, but we want to hear about
like the hidden gems?
Yeah, Mumbai or Goa, or in like the east you have Meghalaya. Like we want to learn about those places a bit more and help us decide where we should go on this trip to India.
There's another destination that keeps popping up on my Instagram feed is Kenya in Africa.
That's
like I always want to go back to Africa. I went there when I was in high school. Went to Tanzania and had the most amazing time.
It sounds expensive though. I always thought going to Africa would be expensive because of accommodation. Not so much the flight, but like it might be difficult to get there, like transit wise, but then more of the accommodation, and you have to join like tours.
It used to be, I think, because I recently checked and there's direct flight from Bangkok to Nairobi now. It only takes 9 hours, even closer than coming to Europe.
Yeah, I guess it's, well, that makes it easy.
I checked the hotels too, by the way, and it's quite affordable. You can get comfortable place for less than $100.
That's
But
good.
but I haven't looked at like, do you need a tour guide all the time to go places? Because back when I was traveling in Tanzania, we need a guy with an AK-47 to lead a group.
But that was like 20 years
Yeah,
ago?
that was a 2005, 2004.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
hopefully it's
Yeah.
not the same now. But yeah, it's something that I think I would be interested in going.
Is there a place that you want to go to that you think I don't want to go? I doubt it, because I'll go anywhere with you.
True. I'm interested in going to Scandinavia. Like Sweden, Norway, like maybe Copenhagen, because I think I'm really interested in also the food culture there, and I think it'll be beautiful. But
Like if you ask me now, I'll be
Yeah.
like, no, I don't want to go.
see, so I think it's more like you
The
like,
timing.
you like the action.
Yeah.
You want it to be a bit more chaotic. You think it'll be easier to film when things
Yeah.
are more chaotic, and I understand. So I don't think I really push for some of those destinations until it's like the right timing for it as well.
Yeah.
But there are certain places, like for example, I'd love to go back to Australia and really get to explore, because when we met in Australia, we had no money. We were like poor students. So we didn't really get to see a lot of Australia. So I'd love to go back and film that. But I think to you, it may be like a bit too boring, because it's so similar to just like Canadian or North American.
No, I'm ready.
culture.
I'm ready to go to Australia, but not now. Next year. Next year we can revisit Australia and the Scandinavian countries again.
Well, not together in a year, because
Yeah.
those two are really expensive
Yeah.
trips altogether. But yeah, I think there are places that definitely we don't really agree on timing wise and budget wise. Yeah, we have to take turns.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for watching or listening, and hope you enjoyed this little candid conversation about how we plan our travels and choose countries we visit.
We almost feel like we have sort of a strategy, but also don't really have a strategy. So we hope some of it was helpful for you to help to understand our
Minds.
our flow of like how we pick things. And if you have any suggestions for destinations that we should check out, please do drop them in the comments below, because maybe we're just gonna look up the flights, the budget, the hotels, and might be filming a series there.
Yeah. And as always, we'll see you on the road.
Bye.
Bye bye.